All right, good morning. Welcome to Your World. My name is Olive Burrows, and I am sitting in for one Whitney Lubembe. We are demystifying insurance this morning, and with me in studio, we have the head of Head of Distribution, AAR Insurance, and that is James Kamau. Karibu.
Good morning, Olive.
Good morning. Good to have you in studio.
It's a pleasure.
This is a time as a country where we're having a lot of conversations around insurance. So with the social health insurance fund coming into force, and then people are, many times when we think insurance, we think medical insurance. But first, for those who may not be familiar, this AAR, we've heard about it for a long time. You started with medical evacuations, did you not, in 1984? And for once, I can say before I was born. Tell us a little bit about AAR's history and the space it now occupies.
Okay. Thank you for the question. You're right. AAR was born 40 years ago. So we've had a 40-year period of learning and experience. Initially, AAR was started as Africa Air Rescue, and it majorly focused on doing medical evacuations across the region. So a lot of evacuations, medical evacuations into Nairobi mainly. The company has evolved over time. Later on becoming a medical insurance provider. That's around 1991, and that increased its scope. Of course, we are related to the healthcare side, which manages the clinics and now the hospital. Later on, the company also grew.
Wait, 1 second. The hospital Nile Kiambu Road?
Yes, yes. Later on, the company also grew, and it became a fully licensed insurance company, and we now are able to provide both health insurance and general insurance. So it's been quite a journey for AAR.
Okay.
Yes.
And I remember growing up, my mom worked with Air Kenya, and so we were covered by AAR. And yes. I felt very posh at the time. I was privileged, let me say that. It was, yes. It's a privilege to have health cover.
Yes.
But in these tough economic times, there are many things which are competing for attention, and some people will cross their fingers and hope for the best. But why is it important to factor in insurance?
I fully understand what you're saying, in as far as having different priorities, especially during these very difficult times. But it's important to have insurance because it enables you to have a better quality of life. And there are various reasons why one should be able to take insurance.
Wait, sorry, I think I moved ahead of myself. Yes. But you said there is the health insurance, which we primarily think about, and then you talked about the general
yes.
insurance.
Yes.
Now, I know businesses will probably have cover and all of that. Perhaps you could break down that general insurance first of all. Sorry, before we get into the importance.
Okay.
Yeah.
General insurance will mainly cover the property assets. We call it property and casualty. So it could be home insurance, the assets that you have in your household. It could be your car. It could be your business, that kind of thing. So aside of medical insurance, which enables you to, go to hospital and the bills are catered for, general insurance now caters for what you own. Yes.
Actually, and when it comes to car insurance, many people will do it because it's a requirement.
Yes.
It's a requirement in law.
Yes.
And health insurance, if somebody were to ask why should I pay extra for insurance privately, previously we know why, right? But with the changes in the social health insurance, is it still advisable
Yes, it is very advisable. You just need to understand the healthcare system. We have different tiers of hospitals, and what private insurance enables you to do is to access better quality insurance through the providers that you go into. With our insurance, you'll be able to go into the private hospitals, depending on the cover that you have purchased. This could be tier 3, tier 2, and even tier 1 hospitals, which include the very well-known big hospitals. So depending on the coverage that you can afford and you purchase, then you can access that. So the first thing is access to quality healthcare. And there are also other instances where you'll need also to probably require attention out of the country. We are also able to do that. The second thing, of course, is good financial planning. We are living in a time where there's high inflation, so to speak. And what health insurance will be able to do is to help you, plan your finances very well. Because the moment that you buy health insurance, you become cushioned against the shocks of inflation, because you have already bought the cover. So regardless of the changes that may happen along the year, then what you paid for insurance remains the same. So even as much as the providers change their costs, you are cushioned against them. Now, the other thing would be, just simple dignity. The fact that when you have a health insurance, you don't open up yourself for public fundraising and stuff like that. So insurance is important, and it guarantees you, that privacy. You're able to deal with your issues on your own at a private or a family level. So if you can afford it, it's always good to take it.
There's certain conditions, and we hear this all the time around this conversation we've been having as a nation where health insurance is concerned, even with the previous administration, that certain health conditions can bankrupt.
Yes. Can
bankrupt you. So, I mean, there's a special cover for persons in the eventuality that somebody is diagnosed with cancer, if you have elderly parents who may not be optimally, you know what I mean?
Yes.
In the best health. How do you navigate that?
Health insurance has been confronted by a number of challenges, and chiefly we've had 2 challenges. One is what you're talking about, these pre-existing and chronic ailments, and the second one is the question of age. So for pre-existing and chronic ailments, we've had to really be innovative around providing solutions for the two. Insurance is pulling together resources so that we are able to mitigate the risks that come out of that. So what we are currently doing at AAR is we've opened and we are covering some of these conditions up to certain limits. For one of our products, which is Shwari, we actually are covering any pre-existing and chronic ailment up to the prescribed limit. So yes, we are covering, and we really need to provide innovative solutions around the coverage of that. So I'm glad to say that at AAR we have broken the barrier, and we are covering these emerging new diseases, the cancers of this world, high blood pressure, and other things. So we are covering. In terms of age, I'm pleased to say that our Shwari offering is now covering even up to 100 years of age. So in other words, from 0 to 100 years, yes.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
So there's just going through my notes ahead of the conversation this morning, I came across statutory. Where is that? A quick second, let me just pull that up, because I was like, no, what is this statutory?
Okay, statutory.
One second. I have it here. So when we're talking about the types of insurance, first of all, there's the generic definition. Should I call it general definition of statutory? Is that where this stems from? Statutory insurance.
Now, statutory will be government related. So non-statutory will, it will be more voluntary.
Non-statutory.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So we're talking about, like, for example, third party for motor vehicles.
Yes.
So what would fall now under non-statutory?
Non-statutory would be actually what we're discussing, things like private health insurance, covering your business, because these are voluntary. But now the statutory is all about following government regulation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So why is it important? I mean, like, as we were saying, now we are back where we started now, mambo ya economy. Things are tight. Already government is cutting, is chopping off. I'm guessing beginning January we'll be taking 2.75% of my salo to go towards SHIF. Already I'm like, the statutory deduction, the statutory term. I have to figure out, for those who have vehicles, figure out now my car insurance. And then also, how has that been impacted by the state of the economy? The premiums, but we'll get to that. So now you start telling me about now and statutory. I'm like, those ones back burner, those ones can wait. Why can't they wait? And why should they be? Now we are back where we started. Why are they a priority?
It's actually very, very important to take what you're calling non-statutory insurance, and this is because it's worse if you're confronted by any of the risks that can come to you, poor health or your business. Like now, for example, we're having a lot of floods. It's sad to see businesses being submerged, people losing millions of shillings, and yet in some instances they could have been cushioned through insurance. So there is a very important part that insurance plays. And we live by our vision, which is protecting the health and wealth of all. So your health, we are there to protect it. What you own, we protect it against the various risks that can confront you. And there are many.
So you can insure, there's a time I heard, I'm sure it has changed and evolved, that you can't get insurance against acts of nature or something like that. Like now the flooding thing. And actually it should be interesting to actually see how insurance has evolved with climate change.
Yes. Now, let me mention on climate change. So we are able to cover floods, right? And the effects of that. So our covers will include that. Right? And there are other things that we cover which never used to be covered before. For example, political activity, what comes out of that. Of course, what happens when there's a lot of political activity. So covers for business will include, those activities. We've also had instances of terrorism. So we have extensions in our covers that will mitigate against those risks. Generally speaking, insurance will not cover things like earthquakes and other nature-driven risks. Yes.
Okay, but flooding is, just to be sure, flooding is covered. All right, so I have somebody in my ear who has a question. Sorry, you saw me nodding at a certain point because they had a question. And sorry, I'll just move before we proceed with this line. I'll just take you back a little bit because you talked about the health insurance, and you said your cover goes beyond Kenya's borders. So for many people to travel to some countries now, you require travel insurance. Is that included?
Now, yes, our cover includes, and just for the benefit of our viewers, AAR is in partnership with Cigna, one of the world's largest medical insurers that is based in the US. This year, since the beginning of the year, we've had a partnership which we recently celebrated at the residence of the US Embassy. And that gives us a very huge span with which our members can enjoy coverage across the globe. But even our products, our standard products, will include coverage out of the country. You can be taken overseas and attended to. And that cover includes even a dependent, somebody who can accompany you, say to India or something like that for a period of time as you recuperate. Yes. So some of our covers will have that element of coverage overseas. Yes.
All right. Before we get, because that's all well and good, but now the implications for my pocket.
Yes.
We were discussing like no cover for businesses and such. But how have you been impacted? Because there has been a lot of, I don't know how to express it, but businesses are dealing with a lot economically, financially, let me put it, that way, given the economic situation in the country. Has that caused you in any way to increase your premiums?
Okay.
And I know you talked about cushioning against inflation,
yes,
and all of that, and your cover, irrespective of this, will remain what the insured signed up for.
Yes.
How has that impacted, I'm just curious at this point, your business?
Okay. We haven't increased our premiums for quite a while now, although that could be a matter under review, just to reflect the current situation, but not significantly. What we actually, the side that we have actually gone to is to be more innovative, to provide more affordable solutions.
And you've preempted my next question, actually, which is,
yes,
with businesses dealing with, you read a lot, right? You hear the Kenya shilling versus the dollar and inflation and all of that, which you referenced. But in this case, it's the exchange rate going higher. But how are you able to accommodate this with these businesses, with carry at their doorstep? Are there plans that they can get into that will make insurance more accessible to them?
Yes. One, we need to introduce better products, better, more affordable products. And we have taken the lead because we have products like Shwari, which are retailing from about 13,000 shillings in a year. And that converts to about 1,000 and 100 or 200 every month. If you convert now that to maybe daily, it becomes even more affordable. So we are opening the door for more affordable insurance, and we are even improving the way we interact with the would-be purchasers. So our distribution, we are going to non-traditional distribution side, right? So we are going to where the people are. We have partnered with SACCOs. So Olive, you can bring Nation SACCO to us, and we can partner, we can agree on the payment terms for the members, and that way, ultimately, you'll be cushioned against what is happening. So two things there: the innovation, and even the way we cost our products, and now even the people we partner with in terms of providers and what have you.
Accessibility.
Yes.
All right. So my director, Jackson Dirangu, has whispered to me that we need to pay the bills. But when we come back, I really like, because for a lot of people, they say, AAR, that looks nice from outside, but Miss Yoni, it looks expensive. I don't feel like if I can walk through their whole, So it will demystify that, which you've already helped us do to some extent so far, but we'll do that further, because for a lot of people, they say, that one looks like it's outside what I can afford.
Okay.
On the other side of this break.
My name is Wilfred Keboro. I'm the chairman of Nation Media Group. And my dream for Africa is that it will be a very economically advanced continent where the intra-African trade will be at the highest level ever. Africa education level will have been at par with the rest of the world. A respected Africa, a free Africa, where we embrace democratic principles. USI Festival of Ideas is an open forum, is an honest forum to discuss about those issues as Africans, to see what is it that we need to do to be able to realize the dream that our forefathers had at the time of independence. I'll personally be there in Botswana, and I would urge all of you like-minded people, come and join us so that we can talk about Africa and see what we really need to do to put our continent where it needs to be.
My skin is my identity, my strength. It's unique and deserves care made specially for me. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care with 5 oils and 5 vitamins. 48-hour nourishment. Helps reduce appearance of stretch marks in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care for your shade of beautiful.
People come to me and they say they get discomfort when they have ice cream. Can you imagine that? Avoiding having cold ice cream. Sensodyne gives you long-lasting protections against sensitivity. And people come in and they're like, oh, it works. I can have ice cream and I'm not in any discomfort. I recommend Sensodyne because it works. It's brilliant.
The Sport Essence is a light serum, quickly absorbed to clear dark marks. Rich moisturizing cream is a gel cream type that deeply hydrates and prevents dark marks. I highly recommend Melano CC for healthy and happy skin. Roto.
Good morning, welcome back to Your World, and this morning we are demystifying insurance with James Kamau, Group Head of Distribution, AAR Insurance. And before we took the break, I was saying, you know, sometimes appearances can be deceiving, and you see it looks nice and glossy and shiny, and you're like, ah, that one is not for my pocket. But you've talked about you've kept mentioning Shwari. So you said Shwari is 13,000 a year, which translates to about 1,000, a few shillings on top per month. Daily, even less, right? So you have, based on what I'm hearing, you says you have a wide range of services that cater to different demographics. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about the products you have on offer.
I'll start right at the top end, where we have the Cigna partnership. And that allows somebody who is purchasing insurance from us to access international medical insurance. Then we have our traditional products. This is the gold card, the silver card, the bronze card, and I see you smiling. Then we have now covers for the business. This is SME cover. Then we have Shwari, which is more of a mass market. And we have also introduced other products like Kinga Afya. And Kinga
I'm seeing this everyday long distance travelers.
Yes, because what we are trying to sell there is the idea that you can have short-term cover. You can actually be covered for a trip. You can pay together with your fare for the trip from here to, say, Nyeri. And should anything happen along the way, if an accident happens, then AAR will be able to meet the costs of the hospitalization, and they'll even be able to evacuate you. This is a product that was started at the beginning of the year, and we are very glad about its success. So we piloted on the Nyeri route.
So this is that innovation you are talking about?
Yes, yes, because that's the only way that we are going to meet the customer needs, right?
All
Because
right.
there's no way, there's no time that the customer will ever have enough money to afford this premium insurance. So the only way is to keep innovating and to see how we can break down insurance and bring it right down to the local level.
And you know something I'm just noticing? With Shwari, there's the AAR in it, Shwari,
Yes.
and then there's also Wakala.
Yes.
But I'll let you explain that. So what does Shwari cover?
Shwari is a breakthrough product. Traditionally, the traditional health insurance products have maybe inpatient on one side, outpatient on one side, and within both you have certain sub-limits. So what we are trying to say in Shwari is that we pass on the responsibility of managing that fund to the customer, because we believe now with more awareness, people getting to know insurance, and us educating them more, the masses can be responsible and run a medical fund for themselves or for their families. And they're empowered to use that fund as per their need. Sometimes the need may be for outpatient, sometimes for inpatient. But as they grow, they'll be very responsible, and they'll know that I need to use this minimally for outpatient because an inpatient incidents can occur. So we are actually banking on growing the responsibility on the part of the user, as we even grow our own efficiencies in between.
That's interesting, because
Yes.
typically it would be you have outpatient cover up to this amount, you have inpatient cover up to this amount. So you're saying you have, how has that changed now?
Now that has completely changed because we are giving you only one limit, right? And you as the consumer, you're able to determine the use of that
Okay.
limit. Yes, so if you have an outpatient case today of a certain amount, and tomorrow there's an inpatient, you still draw from the same limit. Yes,
Okay.
it's revolutionary. Yes,
Okay. That's interesting.
yes.
And why, I'm just curious, why did you choose to go that route?
It's just part of innovation and listening to what the customer wants. Health insurance has been associated with a lot of complexities. So what we are trying to do is to eliminate some of those barriers that make people not want to buy private insurance. So we are the trailblazer in this, and there's been quite a lot of feedback. It's one of our fastest growing products at the moment. We just launched it not too long ago, and we can see there's very positive uptake of the product. And when you even look beyond, like now, when a client goes to the hospital, by the time you break down these sub-limits, co-payments, then that really puts off a certain part of our population. So we're improving on the affordability, and we are becoming more innovative and removing the barriers that make people not purchase insurance. And that's why we are saying, even for Shwari, the age limit is up to about 100. Yes.
Okay, and I'll come to this because in terms of accessibility, many times people will have insurance cover, and then they get to hospital, and then you're told, oh, for you to get this test, it has to be approved. I have to call the insurance provider to approve, or this is not covered under your cover. How are you working to, because we're talking about demystifying, right? To help people make better sense of, in terms of accessibility, the fine print.
Okay. We've made it very easy at AAR. Within our ecosystem, we have a digital medical company called MTBA. So we let them do a lot of our processes because they are experts at it, all right? So they're able to relate very efficiently with providers. They're able to serve the customer very well, giving them things like real-time statements, accessing the providers, that part of the business. So what we are left with is actually focusing on the customer in terms of other elements of service. But in terms of relating with the providers, we have within our ecosystem that digital organization called MTIBA.
All right.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about Wakala.
Okay. Now, Wakala is a digital platform that enables intermediaries to engage with the public through engage with the public. We call it lead generation, right? So if one is interested, they can be able to contact our agents through the various social media handles like Facebook, Instagram, like that. So once you express interest, then there's a lot of convenience because all the communication is done there and it is instant. So if you want a quotation, it is done instantly. And, there's a lot of processing that is done through digital processing that is done through My Wakala. Traditionally, the agent has been meeting you where you work, walking from here to there. So all we are trying to do is to enable our intermediaries to work digitally. So they're able to get to access the very many, the millions, the 16 million or so social media users on a daily basis. So they make use of their social media networks and convert them into, if I can call it net worth, right? So you're able to now on your social media platform, you can be able to demonstrate what you do on a daily basis. Your friends contact you. It's a fun platform, right? And next week, actually, we shall be meeting a group of young people who have not done insurance before. So it's also helping us to break barriers where people were not interested in insurance before. So through My Wakala, we shall be meeting quite a sizable number of young people in partnership with one of our educational institutions. And we'll interest them in selling insurance so that we demystify this aspect that somebody needs to take a folder and walk across town looking for customers. There are better ways of doing it, and even bringing efficiencies to the customer. Yes.
All right. And okay, so we've looked at some of your products, right? And if I am convinced that, hey, this thing sounds like it is for me.
Yes.
So we've looked at Cigna.
Yes.
We've looked at King Afya. We've looked at Shwari. And I know I haven't really looked at the MSE. We haven't looked at the MSME and corporate yet, but I wanted to look at it from the lens of a one-stop shop. Right? Like because in terms of, there's medical insurance, there's personal accident cover, there's travel, etc. Like there are options. In terms of for businesses, are you offering, is there a product that offers a one-stop shop that will, provide medical cover, that will also business cover, you know what I mean? But before we get into the asset, in terms of these, or do you want to deal with that first and then we come back to how do we now access these products?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me talk about the SME cover. It is said we have very many MSMEs. We have about, sometimes it's said 5 million or so MSMEs. And they have their own requirements. Of course, they're in different levels. So what we have done is crafted an SME solution that is targeted at small and medium enterprises. Now, within that SME, if you have a business and you purchase the cover, that means that your employees are on cover. And some of the added benefits within, just besides accessing hospitalization, we've added the element of travel. So every time you travel out of the country and you have that cover, then you don't need to buy additional travel insurance. It's a very popular cover. We enhanced it at the beginning of the year, and it has proven, even by just the growth that we have experienced within it. Our SME growth this year has been in excess of 200%. So it just shows that we responded in the right way to what the market wanted. So
if I'm going to Turkey to buy my clothes,
you're covered.
I'm covered.
Yes. And now what we are trying to do is now bringing in the general part of the business. So shortly, we shall also be unveiling an SME product for the general insurance bit, so that you can be able to say that my business, my biashara, is covered in the event of this and that. Currently, you can still contact us and cover your business against elements such as fire. There is the aspect of Work Injury Benefits Act, WIBA, which is very, very important. That one is compulsory. So we provide it as well. Yes.
Okay. And also corporate. So how do you distinguish the two?
How we distinguish between corporate
and the MSME,
and the
biashara.
All right. Our biggest distinction, okay, there is that population aspect. Because, for example, SME will start with 3 people. If you have a company that has 3 employees, then you qualify to take an SME cover with us. However, the biggest distinction is in terms of benefits, because our SME cover is, there's a way it is crafted. You may call it off the shelf. So there's a brochure for it. These are the benefits. This is the cost. For the corporate side of it, then we deal with larger populations, and you are able to negotiate for the cover that you want, the benefits that you want. Like now Nation Media would be in a very good position to negotiate with us the kind of benefits they want, depending on the budget that they present to us. So that is the biggest distinction between SME and corporate. Okay. However, Olive, we're also going deeper than that, because there are instances where we are finding organizations, they have a budget, and the budget is not meeting any of our product offerings. So to make insurance more inclusive and to bring everybody on board, what we are trying to do is to create bespoke products. So we listen to you and we negotiate. We negotiate with even providers and what have you, and we are able to craft a solution locally for you. This way we have been able to relate with many organizations across our country. We have customers in Meru. We have customers deep in Siaya and other places who have come through that approach. So we listen to you.
Okay.
Yes, we don't just let you, we don't just tell you that your budget is not enough. We actually take your budget and try and craft a solution for you. We have a section of our business which we call AAR 3.0, and that is the innovation part of our business. And what we are trying to do through AAR 3.0 is to come up with these unique propositions for the whole value chain. Yes.
All right, so you're head of distribution. So I cannot let you leave this studio until we tackle that.
Yes.
Yeah. So talk to me about the various avenues. You've already touched on some of them already.
Yes.
What else is, how accessible are your products?
Thank you for bringing me closer home. Now, in terms of distribution simply means just providing access to the products and services that we provide. So how you can be able to tap into our products, number one is through the agents, the agents force. In Kenya today, we have close to 12,000 licensed agents. And you see, one of the things that the public needs to know is that agents are licensed to transact for all insurance companies, all right? So sometimes organizations may give them some value proposition so that they are more inclined to them. But basically, the agent of today has a license which allows them to transact business for the company that they may wish to transact for. So the public has access to the 12,000 agents. Just ensure that they are licensed, all right, and there are ways of checking that out, and they can be able to deliver you to us, right? The second is the brokers. The brokers are managed through the Association of Insurance Brokers of Kenya. There are about 200 brokers in the country. Now, the difference between the agents and the brokers is that the agents will represent the companies. They act on behalf of the companies. But now the brokers act on behalf of the consumers. They are empowered to do so. So besides the brokers, you can even access our products through bank assurance, right? Bank assurance, we have more than 50 banks. Some are quite expansive. They have branches across the region. So you can simply walk into any of those branches and ask for Shwari, for example. There are those banks we have already facilitated with our products. So if you walk into your bank today, they can be able to provide you with our products. We are now going into the non-traditional distribution as well. This is where now we are partnering with digital organizations, maybe telcos and people like those, people with big reach. So we partner and we use their platforms to distribute our products. We have partnered with a lot of SACCOs, right? So the SACCO members are able also to go to their SACCO and purchase, maybe even take a loan, a soft loan from the SACCO, and they're able to get insurance. We are really trying to make it as easy as possible. Just last week, we finalized our partnership with the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and industry, because we want to bring insurance closer to the business community across the country. So there's a campaign that we shall jointly be running, and it was a pleasure just meeting the business leaders last week and listening to them and their needs. Yes, so we have the traditional channels and the non-traditional channels of distribution that we are using. We must bring insurance to the local level. So, and that will require us to think very differently from the way we have always thought insurance to be. Yeah.
I mean, I can't just pick the phone. I go to Google, AAR Insurance.
Now.
I call a number and I tell them I want insurance, and then they tell me, okay, the office closest to you is this one.
Very good. Now, we have 10 branches across the country. We have a branch in Malindi, we have a branch in Mombasa, we have, of course, a branch in Nairobi, we have a branch in Thika, Nyeri, Meru, opening later this month, Naivasha, Nakuru, Eldoret, Kakamega, and even Kisumu. So we have the branch network that you can walk into. And besides that, we have buy online options where you can just, can I mention the number?
Feel free.
You can do *371# and you'll find various options there that will allow you to purchase insurance. Besides that, you can also go to info@aar.co.ke. You can also go to our Facebook page, Instagram also, our website. We are available. Yes. You can even chat us on WhatsApp. Maybe I'll give you the number right at the end. And, we are available. We are reachable. Yes.
You're reachable.
Yes.
All right. So, I mean, it's a changing landscape. You're dealing with a different consumer. And I know there are different consumers because you cut across, right? Up to, I can't still believe 100 years of age. Anyway, yeah, long life, live healthy. But what did like the COVID-19 pandemic, how has it helped shape innovation moving forward?
No, COVID was a very useful, as bad as it is and the bad effects that it brought, but there were also good learnings from it. COVID helped us to shape our products. And the first benefit was the coverage of pandemics, right? Previously, most insurance did not cover pandemics, but today, all our covers include pandemics. So that was the first and immediate gain. The other was now alteration of processes. Today, it's very possible for one to distribute from home. You can work from home, isn't it? So that only brought us closer to the public in terms of distribution of insurance. Product design also altered quite significantly. Our processes were also changed to accommodate processing of, say, applications from applicants from wherever they are. So COVID had very useful lessons to the business and the way we interact with the public. Yeah.
All right. So if there's like your bullet points of what the person listening, you know, selling insurance is no easy thing.
Indeed.
You know better, I'm guessing, than anybody. It's no easy thing because
Yes.
you're telling somebody to think of the future,
Yes.
and in the eventuality that this and this happens, you need to be, you need to, again, you need to have the safeguard, the cushion you talk about.
Yes.
So what usually does it take to tip somebody in the direction of, okay, yeah, it makes sense. It makes financial sense. It is,
Yes.
this is actually not a drain on my resources. This is actually an investment in my future.
Now, if we can drill it down to some numbers, this year only, at AAR, we are likely to pay about 6 billion in claims, in hospital claims, right? So the premium that we shall have, the gross written premium that we shall have collected, close to 6 billion of it will go to the payment of various bills in hospitals at the end of the year. Now, that, first of all, should make one believe that insurance works. We pay our bills, right? Secondly, is the convenience that insurance provides. Whenever something happens, you don't need to worry too much because insurance will more or less take you back to the position that you were before the loss or the risk happened. So it's very important, and I'm glad that more and more awareness is happening. We're having more drives. We are going to colleges and speaking about insurance. We are having business forums and speaking about insurance. So from my personal experience, I can tell you that the public is perceiving insurance better than before, right? And the onus is also on us to provide innovative products, processes that are in tune with what the customers want.
As I'm laughing in my head because this is planning for a rainy day.
Yes.
And if El Nino has taught us anything, is that sometimes when it rains, it pours.
Yes.
But again, on the issue of accessibility, there are people who have had complaints that you pay your insurance premiums well and good, but now when it comes time for that 6 billion in compensation, it's like pulling teeth. How is it at AAR?
I must say that by and large, of course, to be honest, there will be an incident or two where a claim is not payable. But by and large, most of our claims are payable and we pay them. And the claims may not be payable for various reasons. One is that perhaps, what is being claimed is not covered. Secondly, the documentation is very, very important. And we even have elements of fraud in terms of claims. So there is a huge element to consider there of fraud. So at AAR, we do our best. We are efficient. We have good turnaround times. And going by the Net Promoter Score that our customers give us, I'm glad to report that we are doing a good job. Yes.
All right. And lastly, in the interest of public service, now you're not speaking as head of distribution. Now you're just speaking as James
Yes.
Kamau. Whether I am looking for medical insurance, whether I am looking for personal accident cover, group accident cover, professional indemnity, home insurance solutions, WIBA, what would be your advice? When I'm looking for an insurance cover for products to meet my needs, what
Yes.
should I keep in mind?
Okay. You must keep in mind the end, right? This person I am relating with, will they be able to deliver what I'm looking for? So it's good to do a bit of research into the organization that you want to buy your insurance from, right? So that at the end, there is good delivery. Again, and I always like to encourage the use of intermediaries, because intermediaries will give you more or less good advice. And they will lead you in the right way, right? So, and they will be able to interpret some of anything that appears technical. They'll be able to interpret it for you, avoiding any future surprises. Yes.
And lastly, 2 minutes.
Yes.
Aki, please, thank you. The employment landscape is changing. COVID-19 showed a lot of people lost jobs. You have FK who are saying 70,000 people lost jobs. How is insurance adapting?
Okay, from an AAR Insurance side, we are contributing very positively to the issue of employment. I must say that the Wakala platform has brought in a lot of inquiries from the young generation who now find a platform that they can relate with and make that extra source of income. So as we take it to the next phase, because we have just completed our first phase with it, as we take it to the next phase, taking into the feedback that we have received, we see our organization creating numerous opportunities for work and easing the pressure.
And also, I think I'll have you back to discuss like the products. If I signed onto a product when I was employed and now I've lost my employment, and is there an arrangement that can be made? Are there products that, because many people access insurance through their employers. So
Yes.
now that we're dealing now, people are, it's no longer permanent and pensionable type of situation. People are acting as consultants and such.
If you have been in an organization that was covered by AAR and you happen to lose your job in whatever means, of course not bad means, but through retrenchments and things like that, then feel free to contact AAR and we can be able to do to see how we can be able to assist you to continue with the cover.
All right.
Yes.
All right, so I know I put him on the spot with a couple of questions there, but he was a good sport nonetheless. James Kamau, Group Head of Distribution, AAR Insurance. Was that WhatsApp number?
The WhatsApp number, actually our telephone number is, our phone number is 0703 063 000. And if you want to reach us on WhatsApp, that is 0730 633 300.
All right. So if you need to rehear that number, we are posting. We're going to post this show online.
Okay.
You can find it on the NTV Kenya YouTube channel. My name is Olive Burrows. James, thank you very much for helping us demystify insurance this morning.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.